Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste, dear friends. A very warm welcome from Team Paramvedanta to session 11 of our Mananam series. In the previous session, we explored verses 5 to 9 of chapter 1, Vali 3 of Kathopanishad. In these verses, Lord Yama continues unfolding the Ratha Kalpana, the powerful chariot metaphor, vividly illustrating the essential sadhanas or disciplines a seeker must cultivate, where a steady mind, senses well controlled, and the guiding intellect together lead to progress on the spiritual path of Gnana Marga. Today, Dr. Hegde sir will take us deeper into this journey with verses 10 to 14 of the same third Vali. In these verses, Lord Yama presents the inner hierarchy, that is, from sense organs to mind, intellect, then Mahat, which is cosmic intelligence, and uh, cosmic intellect, and ultimately to the self, also known as Panchakosha Viveka, guiding the seeker in inward spiritual refinement. He also highlights the subtle and challenging nature of this pursuit, comparing the spiritual path to walking the edge of a razor, sharp, narrow, and demanding unwavering focus, beautifully expressed in the profound verse Uttishta Jagrata. Following this, we will have a teaching quiz led by Dr. Anupama ma'am that will enable us to reinforce our learning and offer clarity through reflection. So now, without further delay, I invite Dr. Hegde sir to lead us into today's session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mamta. Sadashiva-samarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahma Vidyacharyaya Nachiketa Secha. We have come to almost the end of the first chapter of Kathopanishad. We are nearing the end of the third Vali, and you will see the whole teaching is coming to a climax. To quickly recap, the whole Kathopanishad is an answer to the third boon. If you will remember, this was the situation. A mortal like Nachiketa, but an exceptional person, got a chance to see a Devata, and in the circumstances, the Devata offered him 3 boons. And he rightfully asked the first boon for his father, the second boon for the community, and his third boon was this question: Yeyam preti vichikitsa manushye, O Lord of Death, what happens to a person after death? So essentially, if you will see, he was asking for what survives the death. He is not interested in the subtle body. He is interested in Atma Jnanam. And since Atma Jnanam is the highest goal ever, and we will know in Kathopanishad, you will get the answer to this question. That means we will all get Atma Jnanam. Atma Jnanam requires a very refined mind. It requires all our faculties to be intact. When we are pursuing something very refined, when we are on an extraordinary journey, we have to be physically and mentally ready and ready to give whatever is required, because the result is going to be something extraordinary. As part of the teaching, the teacher, the Brahma Vidya Acharya, none other than Yama Dharmaraja, gives us throughout, he will say there are two distinct paths. He will say if you want the higher path called Shreyas, you have to take the path that is less trodden and which is taken by very few. Are you ready for that? So the path he is giving us is the path called Shreyas. Right in the beginning of the third Valli began two very distinct and very different kind of mantras. One of them was Ritam Pibanto Sukritasya Loke Guham Pravishto Parame Pararde, and so on. Essentially telling us within all of us there are two distinct entities. One, as given in the Mundakopanishad, the higher bird or my higher self, and the other, the higher self, which is none other than the Atma, which will later come as Vishnu Pada or Vasudeva. So there is the Lord in me, and there is also the Ahankara, the lower self, the manipulative self, the jealous self, the limited self. In all of us, there is this lower self and there is this higher self. And in the next mantra, he takes of Setu. Setu means the bridge. Then he will say, I will give you a bridge. That bridge which will connect you to Aksharam Brahma Yat Param Abhayam Titirshitam Param. That bridge which can take you to the highest. So he will ignite into us that there is something in us, there is the lower self in all of us, there is that Vishnu Padam, Sri Krishna principle, the divine principle is waiting in all of us. And our teacher, that is what a role of a guru is. A guru will help us to discover there is something of the extraordinary and not only tell us, he's going to give us the means. And part of the means is going to give us a very nice mental picture. It is called Rata Rupa Kalpan. Imagine you are on a spiritual journey. Now, normal journeys are outside, but this unique journey is a journey which takes you inner. And he tells you this is not an ordinary journey, it's an extraordinary journey. And if there is any extraordinary external journey, I always give the example of a trek or to Kedarnath or to Mount Kailash. Now, because of the difficulty involved, you mentally prepare yourself because you know a lot of mental toughness is required. You physically prepare yourself. And those who have been on the yatras know it requires months of mental and physical preparation. This inner journey is a far more difficult journey. And therefore, he gives you this Rata Rupa Kalpana, which talks about my body, my sense organs, my mind, my intellect, and how all of them have to be in good shape, how all of them have to be focused. Now, if all these components, my body, my sense organs, my mind, my intellect, if they are in good shape, then this vehicle can be your friend. Otherwise, it if the intellect, the key you will see is the intellect. The intellect in me should know what is my goal. My sense organs should not be like unruly horses. The intellect should say, I will use my guru, my shastras, to help me to decide what is that which is really important in my life. And they will say that is called the Vishnu Padam, that higher self in me, that is the goal. Now, once the intellect knows what is my goal, it is said every creation happens twice. First in our mind and then in our reality. So through the Rata Rupa Kalpana, he is giving us the Vishnu Padam. To Yaha Setur Ijananam. That means he is giving you a bridge to all the seekers. Now, the bridge is to connect the lower bird to the higher bird. The ultimate reason is all of us together must reach our goal. And for to reach our goal, the intellect is the most important person. In all of us, there is something of the intellect. The intellect is the one who determines. What is that I really want in my life? And once the intellect is very clear, the intellect is able to integrate the very unruly mind, the undisciplined sense organs, the lazy body. Is able to whip them all into shape, because now something is very important. Now, the if my goal is difficult, I have to be mentally tough. I'm ready to fast. I'm ready to wait for as long as it is required. And if you see in Swami Chinmayananda's BMI chart, you have, before we reach the Vishnu Padam represented here by Omkara, you have the letter V. The letter V talks about vasanas. Vasanas are the strong programming that has happened in my mind. Some of these programs are called Shubha Vasanas. All of us are endowed with a lot of good Vasanas. It is those good Vasanas that have brought us to the Upanishadic class. Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschid Yatati. Among the thousands, how many? A very few handful come to such classes. We are those classes. But then, in addition to those Shubha Vasanas, all of us have certain tendencies which can bring us down. Those are the Ashubha Vasanas. And therefore, through the Ratarupa Kalpana, and in these verses that we are going to study today, can I control my sense organs? Can I control my mind? Can my intellect be really clear about the goals in my life? Can my intellect integrate all the various components? Now, if this is our objective, you will see very naturally an internal purification and internal focusing will happen. Now, how do we integrate? Fortunately, we have a lot of spiritual learning already is there. And because of this spiritual learning through the Bhagavad Gita and through the Upanishads, we have jnanam. Little later, it will come as prajna. So there is the jnanam in us, but jnana nishta has not happened. Now I have to convert this intellectual knowledge. What is the intellectual knowledge which will say, I am Purna? I don't have to depend on anybody for my security. I don't have to depend on anybody for my fulfillment. I don't have to depend on anybody for my peace, security, or happiness. I'm okay by myself. Now, if this vision enters in my mind, into my intellect, this is called Param Drishtva. I have that focus. I am okay just the way I am. Then what do I need to do? I have a problem with my mind. In my mind, there is Kama, there is Krodha, there is Lobha, there is Mada and Matsarya. These are the six internal enemies. Until I work on these six internal enemies, let us do the Wali technique. What is that Wali technique? As far as possible, don't put yourself in those provoking situations where you can be overwhelmed by your sense organs. So that is the initial preparation that is called Indriya Nigraha. Now, the thought has come into my mind, a negative thought, a Kama thought, a Krodha thought, a jealousy thought has possessed in my mind. Now, my mind is vulnerable. That means it can enter my mind. Whether I entertain it, rasa varjam, am I going to entertain these negative thoughts? That is what is called mano nigraha. There is a nice phrase which has been given to us by Guru Nanak Dev. He says, Manjeet Jagjit. If you have to be a victor, you have to be the master of your mind. So negative thoughts in the form of Kama, Krodha do enter into your mind, even if you are in a very protected ashram or in a Himalayan environment. But what should not do? Rasa Varjam. I should not dhyayato vishayan pumsaha. I should not entertain that thoughts. And if I entertain that thoughts, that produces the ladder of fall. So there are beautiful Bhagavad Gita verses like this. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. That means once this idea, I am that, has come into my head, that is a great blessing. And once that blessing is there, Then use the other Gita verse. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha. What should I do? Control all my sense organs and my mind. And then put the higher me in the driver's seat. Yukta asita matparaha. Matparaha, Sri Krishna is see me as the highest or put me on your driver's seat. Vashehi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratishtitaha. Then this wisdom that we have, the Bhagavad Gita wisdom, the Mahavakya wisdom, Aham Brahmasmi, now that becomes established. I move from Jnanam to Jnananishta. This is what we have studied so far. In today, we will study mantra 10, 11, 12, 13. As you see, I will go through that very briefly. All I can do in these classes is give you a taste of these mantras. But in Vedanta, the real teaching is when you do it yourself. All the teacher can do is to sow or kindle that interest. And let us see these beautiful 10, 11, 12 mantra. In the next class, we will look at that mantra, which Mamta spoke about. What is that called? Uttishtata Jagrata. That will come. Give me a few minutes before we come to these beautiful 4 mantras. Now, the methodology employed in Vedanta in order to establish those rare truths, for example, to understand I am Brahman, and Brahman being Nirguna. See, all of us know the objective world. For us as teachers, it is very easy to teach about the heart or the eye or any organ that I can see. But to teach about Brahman that has no gunas, we have to use a special technique called Adhyaropa, which means deliberate superimposition. That means the teacher is coming down to the level of the student, accepting all the ideas, the wrong ideas that the student has, which is called Adhyaropa, and then subsequently when the student is ready to do an Apavada. Now, I have defined what is Adhyaropa and Apavada. Now, what is Adhyasa? Adhyasa means error, for example, because of poor light or it's twilight and I see something, I superimpose a snake on a rope. Now, this error is called an adhyasa. But what is adhyaropa? Now, I'm given a Shivalinga. I see a Shivalinga, but I have trained my mind to see Lord Shiva in the Shivalinga. So, the Shivalinga is something so ordinary, but I'm able to see the extraordinary Lord Shiva, the ability to superimpose, and that is what is called Adhyaropa. As this definition is very important, Adhyaropa, I'll read the definition, is a deliberate superimposition of name, form, concept, or story on the formless, attributeless reality of Brahman in order to be able to make it comprehensible to our mind. For example, if the guru asks for water, you cannot bring water directly. You bring it in a cup. And the guru may be upset. I asked for water. Why did you bring a cup? It is like putting water in a cup so that you can drink it. And once the cup is not water, but it is necessary to deliver the water. And if it is a disposable cup, once the job of drinking is over, the cup can be disposed. And that is what is called apavada. The subsequent negation or the retraction of the very superimposition. The example here, once the water or the truth is consumed, the cup is taken away. The negation reveals what is truly real and by removing what is only apparently real. Now, this method is essential because Brahman is not an object of knowledge. It is our very real self. Very difficult to be able to teach it, and it cannot be described, but it must be pointed by using all these techniques or various prakriyas. Whenever we speak of Adhyaropa Pavada, sometimes we give this example of a certain king who had 17 elephants, and he said, half of them must go to my eldest son, 1/3 to my second son, and 1/9 to the younger son. But how do we divide 17 elephants? So the prime minister comes and he says, I will solve your problem by offering my elephant. And he adds from 17 to 18. Now he says 1/2 goes to the eldest, that is 9. 1/3 goes to the second son, that is 6. and 1/9 goes to the third or the youngest son, that is 2. You add together, that makes 17, and he takes back his own elephant. And so in the process, you adhyaropa and you do apavada. Now, what is our goal? Our goal is Vishnu Padam or Vasudeva. Normally, when we say Vishnu Padam, we look up into the heavens. But then there is a very beautiful Sanskrit word called Vasudeva. Let this word enter into your mind and enter into your heart. The word Vasudeva means Vasate, that which exists. Deva means Divya, or that which shines. I am existent and I am conscious. That means in English, if you want to say I am existent, you say I am. And if you want to say I'm conscious, you say I. So Vasudeva literally means I am. And this I am in all of us is Vishnupadam. But when you say, I am a doctor, I am a man, then you have come to Adhyaropa, you have come below. So this has to be Apavada. And Apavada, that the doctor and the man has to be removed and ultimately leave your pure I amness. And if you are in I amness, then there is nothing else. And that is our pure nature. By knowledge or jnanam, we see importantly that in this journey, it is not a physical journey to reach Vishnu or Vasudeva. It is an intellectual journey. We should drop that notion that Vishnu or consciousness is something away. It is that entity because of which I'm able to hear, because of which I'm able to speak, because of which I am alive. We are used to objects and the intellect cannot grasp this Nirguna Brahman. So this method of going from the lower to the higher are various prakriyas, and we are going to use one prakriya that is called Panchakosha Viveka. In Vedanta, there is a very famous example of the 10th man example. We know about the 10 boys who crossed a river, and in their anxiety, they counted all of them except one, and they found only 9 of them. They assumed the 10th man was missing, and they were extremely upset, thinking what could have happened to the 10th man. And a guru or a teacher or a wise person was going by, they shared their lamentation. When he saw that there was 10 of them, but he wanted to tell them, but then their mind was so agitated and so upset. So he wanted to create a technique. So he made that person who was asking for the 10th man to count all his friends. And once he reached 9, then he asked him, he says, Tat Tvam Asi. The 10th man is none other than you. Now, when you do a prakriya, you do a technique, you are able to realize that which you are looking for is none other than myself. So that is what we are doing. So we are going from kosha to kosha. Adi Shankara in his Bhashyam has very nicely brought out this entity. He says, as you're going from one kosha to another kosha, you will see each one of them is subtler, each one of them is more pervasive, and each one of them is closer to you. The word he used is sukshmatvat, mahat, and pratyakatma. You will go layer by layer. And if you have to understand this, the understanding you have to understand is what is this immanent and what is this transcendental. You will remember that verse, my sarvam idam protam sutre manigana eva. Shri Krishna in the 7th chapter, 7th verse says, I am immanent, I am in and through. At the same time, I am asangaha, I am transcendental, just like light upon my hand. It is unaffected by anything on my hand. We have to understand what is immanent and transcendental. Immanent and transcendental is the innermost Atma. How do we go? The journey is in 6 steps. We move from the Indriya, from the sense organs to the sense objects, from the sense objects to the mind, from the mind to the intellect, from the intellect to the total intellect, from the total intellect to Prakriti or Maya, and from Maya we come to Purusha. That is how we will go into mantras. We will go through this Panchakosha Viveka. The same thing comes in one shloka in the Bhagavad Gita. Let us understand this verse. Indriyabhya param hi artha arthebhyascha param manaha manasastu para buddhihi buddher atma mahan paraha. Word by word meaning. The word paraha, param comes all the time. Paraha or param means something superior. What is superior to the sense organs? Superior to the sense organs is the mind. And superior to the sense organs is the sense object. Superior to the sense objects is the mind. Superior to the mind is the buddhi. And from the buddhi, we come to the mahat, or to the total intellect. Now get this word meaning. The sense objects, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, are superior to the sense organs. The mind is superior to the sense objects. The intellect is superior to the mind. The Mahat is superior to the intellect. The Mahat means the total intellect. Mahat is also called Hiranyagarbha. Now, how can the sense objects, that means I see so many things around me, how can they be superior to my sense organs? There is a normal feeling that my sense organs should be more inner and more superior, but very wisely this Upanishadic mantra says the sense objects which are referred to as arthaha are superior to the sense organs. Now in this rationale, whatever is inner, whatever is bigger, and whatever is closer is something higher. Now you will see my sense organs go and grasp the sense objects. That means the sense objects are inner to the sense organs because it is grasped by it. The sense objects are far more than my sense organs. They are more pervasive, they are more bigger. And when we say sense objects, we refer to the what is perceived within us as Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. And thereby, this unique doubt about the sense objects being superior to the sense organs is clear. We go to the next verse. What is the next verse says? Mahata param avyaktam avyaktat purusha paraha purushan param kinchit sa kashta sa para gatihi. That means we are now going to the ultimate. The avyaktam, the unmanifest or maya, is higher than mahat or hiranyagarbha. And this avyakta na kinchit, that means beyond Purusha. Purusha is higher than Maya, and beyond Purusha, kinchit, there is nothing. Sa kashta, that means that is the highest. Sa paragatihi, there is nothing, no goal higher than Atma. So this is the word meaning the unmanifest. Unmanifest means Maya. Maya is superior to Mahat or Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha means the total intellect, the Samashti Sukshma Sharira. The Karana Sharira or Maya is higher. The Atma is superior to Maya or the unmanifest. And then the mantra says, there is nothing superior to Atma. That is the culmination. That is this supreme goal. And this is what we talk about Vasudeva. Now, whenever we talk about the goal, now we are talking about a goal. And when we want to reach a goal, whenever we reach a destination, whenever we are buying a ticket to some place, now I have to travel to Delhi or I have to travel to Kedarnath. I not only buy an onward ticket, I also buy a return ticket, isn't it? So whenever you see a goal, there is a feeling that I am going there and I have to come back. So immediately there is a Purva Pakshi, and a Purva Pakshi talks about what is this goal that you're talking about? On one hand, you're saying this is the ultimate goal. Yat gatva na nivartante tad dama paramam maha. You're talking about the highest goal. So Adi Shankara will tell you it is not a goal in the usual sense. Avagatir eva gatir. Now, in Sanskrit, you should see how beautifully he uses words. Avagatihi. Avagati means knowledge, spiritual knowledge. Avagati reva gatihi. He says, if you have that knowledge of I am that, he says, that is gati, that is the highest goal, that is the Vishnu Padam that we are talking about. And once you reach that goal or that state of consciousness, you know that I am that witness of all the three states. I am the witness of my thoughts. Right now, there is silence. Right now, there are no thoughts. But this witness is the illuminator of my thoughts. It is the illuminator of that blankness. Now, I have reached the pinnacle, the highest ever. Now, all that I need to do is to be able, Vishnu Padam means Vasudeva. It means I am. I have to own up that consciousness using my mind, but at the same time, I have to negate my mind. So you will see it is involves the apavada. Now, again, I will come to that word of what is this immanent and transcendental by defining the word Purusha. The word Purusha means Purishayati iti Purusha. Pure means the city. Shayati means the one who is the indweller in the city. That means the indweller in all of us is called the Purusha. That is the Atma that is indwelling. One meaning. Purayati sarvam iti purusha, that which is all pervasive. So the indweller is not only, I mean, I can recognize the Atma within me, but the same Atma is not only within me, it is outside me also. So the gatihi that we have reached is actually avagatihi, the knowledge of I am Vasudeva, I am Vasate, I am Devaha, I am consciousness, I am existence. This is the culmination. This is Param Drishtva. Once I have got this Param Drishtva, then what happens? Now, this is the Bhagavad Gita verse. Let us see this Bhagavad Gita verse in the third chapter. In the third chapter, also, Sri Krishna builds up, how we need to control our sense organs. And he brings in Indriyani Paran Ahur Indriya Byeha Param Manaha Manasastu Para Buddhir Yo Buddhye Paratastu Saha. That means that Atma. With that, we finish those two beautiful words. Now, there are two more wonderful verses. Let us see. Now that I have reached that Vasudeva, but he says something very beautiful. Each of these verses are so nicely connected. And if you get a chance to see Shankara Bhashyam, you will see how nicely he does what is called a Sambandha Bhashyam. In a Sambandha Bhashyam, he will connect one verse to the other. And let us see what is the connection between our Ratha Kalpana journey that we have reached to that Vasudeva, Vishnu Padam or Vasudeva, and this verse, Yesha Sarveshu Bhuteshu, that means in all beings, in every being, including a mosquito, a plant, or an animal, the indweller is Vasudeva. Gudaha Atma na prakashate. The Atma is there, but it is hidden, and therefore it is not grossly evident. But it is possible to see how Drishyate tu agrayaya buddhya sukshmaya sukshma darshavihi. What does this verse say? Yesha sarveshu bhuteshu. This is the indweller in all. Gudatma na prakashate. It is not evident, but it is possible if your mind is extremely sharp, extremely subtle, and it is a it is a it is a wide, deep, sharp. These are the various qualities. Swami Paramartha Nandaji asks us to see Subramania's spear, his veil, as wide, as sharp, and deep. Word meaning Gudaha. It is hidden Sarveshu Bhuteshu, in all beings. Yesha, this Atma, this Vasudeva, this Vishnu Padam. Although it is there in me, it is there in all beings. Na prakashate. It is not obviously seen. However, natu Drishyate, it can be seen, Sukshma Darshibihi, by all people with subtle vision, not only subtle vision, by sharp vision. Agraya, Agraya means the highest, but also means very sharp. That buddhi, which is both sharp, which is wide, and which is extremely subtle. So, being hidden in all beings, the Atma is not evident. However, it is seen by those people with subtle vision and a sharp intellect. Now, you will see so much of comparison between the Bhagavad Gita. And how does the Bhagavad Gita say about the same verse? He says, Yatanto yoginaschainam pashyanti atmanam avastitam yatanto api akritatmanam Atmanah Nainam Pashyanti Che Achetasaha. Yatanto Yogina, those yogis are able to see that Atma, which is that indweller in all. But many people who don't have such a refined mind, even by trying, they're not able to see. As part of the explanation of this verse, Swamiji gave us a very nice example of a little boy because there was no electricity at home, or suddenly there was a failure in electricity. So the mother asked the boy to go to the neighboring apartment and to find out if they have electricity. So the boy very dutifully goes, he rings the doorbell rings, the door is open, and he will see the fan is on, the TV is on, the lights are on, and very innocently asks, my mama has asked you to find out if there is electricity in your house. Now, we can excuse a little boy if he is not able to detect these evidence signs. But then our teacher says, after so many years of spiritual training, especially after Vishwarupa Ishvara Darshana and all the Gita on the Upanishad helping us to see Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam, to be able to discover this Vasudeva in me, this Vasudeva everywhere in me. And this is what this very beautiful mantra says. So, what is this mantra talking about? It is talking about what are the qualifications that are required. It is not only telling us that the Atma is within me, it is telling us there are certain qualifications. Consciousness is present in every body and in everybody. It is hidden. This Atma is Gudaha. Why is it covered? Two reasons. It can never really be covered, but my mind is so preoccupied. We speak of what is called Samanya Jnanam. Samanya Jnanam is objectless awareness. Right now, don't be focused on anything. Just be aware. That is what is called Samanya Jnanam. But the moment I try to explain and you listen to these words, and when you focus on these words, we come into Vishesha Jnanam. The problem is all the waking hours, we are in Vishesha Jnanam. Now, we should remember, even though I am in Vishesha Jnanam, can I be aware of that Samanya Jnanam, because of which I'm able to do all these activities, which is Vishesha Jnanam. Atma is not evident to the extroverted person whose mind is not subtle. For example, when the person sees the hand, you need a little training to be able to see there is not only the hand, but light. So too, when I'm watching so many objects, I have a thought of that object, but I need to be able to say, what? Pratibodha viditam matam. In every experience, can I come in touch with the experiencer? And that is what this mantra says. We come to the last mantra, and I will do this many times because this is one of the most beautiful mantras in the entire Kathopanishad. Yached vak manase prajnaha, yached jnane atmani, jnanam atmani mahati nyachet, tat yachet shanti atmani. This is one of those what I call the thunderbolt. Whenever there is a mantra which is not easy to understand, it gives a lot of play for wise interpretation. It should not be our own interpretation, but there is multiple interpretations possible, and you can take it in whichever form of interpretation that suits your taste. What does this mantra says? The mantra goes like this: Yached Vang Manasi Prajna. Yached Jnana Atmani. Jnanatmani Mahati Nyached. Tadyached Shanta Atmani. Prajnaha means the discriminative ones. Here it is said, Swamiji talks about the person who's got jnanam, like all of us, but many of us are yet to achieve that state of jnana nishta. That means this mantra is talking about that sadhana which helps us to move from jnanam to jnana nishta, from Brahma Asti to Brahma Asmi. Yat Ched. What does this word means? This word is the apavada. It is to resolve. And there is a very nice Sanskrit word called pravilapanam. Pravilapanam also means to resolve. Now let us see. It says, can we resolve the speech into the mind? Now, before I speak anything, before I get my next thought, that thought comes in my mind. And what the teacher is saying is, let it remain in your mind only. That means do not speak. When you do not speak, the vak, my speech, resolves into my mind. The word vak means not only my mind, it means all my karmendriyas, all my organs of action, and all my sense organs. That means all my sense organs and all my organs of action represented by vak, let them resolve into the mind. That means we are doing a form of a meditation. I'm resolving all my activities that I can see into my mind. That means close your eyes. So all the external objects are gone. Now the external objects have come in the form of thoughts. From these thoughts, can I go into the intellect, which is my higher thought? And from my higher thought, can I go to the total thought, which is Mahat? And from that Mahat, resolve into the Atma. This is the exercise. Continuing, Jnane Atmani, from the resolve into my intellect. That means from my mind to the intellect, from the intellect to the Mahati Atmani, to the Hiranyagarbha, and from that Hiranyagarbha to the Shanti Atmani, that is my higher self, Vasudeva or Vishnupada. Word meaning the discriminative ones, the prajna, the one who's got spiritual knowledge, should resolve the speech into the mind. The speech means stop talking, stop doing all activities, come to your thoughts. The external world has been resolved into thoughts. Now the thoughts have been resolved into the mind. The mind has got chanchala, resolve into the intellect. The intellect is focused. From the intellect, go to the higher intellect. And when you go to the higher intellect, you are taking off all impurities in yourself and taking that which is pure in yourself. So we are making a process of purification when we go from the limited intellect to the Mahat, to the higher intellect. And from that higher intellect, we jump Avyakta. Avyakta is the state of Anandamaya or sleep. Remember, we are in a process of meditation. I have closed my eyes. All my words have stopped. All my sense organs are closed. So I have resolved everything into my mind. But there are a lot of thoughts in my mind. My thoughts are organized in my intellect. My intellect then purifies it and merges in the total intellect. And from the total intellect, I come into that Shanta Atma, that peaceful state. That is why this mantra has to be understood. How do we understand? For this, it requires, for self knowledge, a very subtle mind. And the subtle mind can be trained through Jnana Yoga or Jnana Yoga. Remember, through meditation or through spiritual understanding. Here, the teacher is emphasizing meditation as a method of preparing the mind. Prajna means the one who has done Shravanam but has not assimilated that knowledge. He is a Jnani but not a Jnana Nishta. The Upanishad says that we should sit silently in one place so that that vak goes into my mind, yached, and this indicates that he must withdraw the functions of the jnanendriya and the karmendriya into the mind. And then the prepared mind is required for self-knowledge. You bring in bhakti, you bring in meditation, withdraw the mind into the vijnanamaya kosha, that is the intellect, and from the intellect move to the Atma. So this is the process of turning inwards. Now let us meditate or let us reflect on this word pravilapanam. Pravilapanam means, now in Advaita Vedanta, we have two forms of resolution. We have to resolve the duality into the Dvaita Prapancha into Advaita. And this can be done through Jnana Yoga or Jnana Yoga, through Jnanam or through Jnanam. So we have two forms of pravilapanam. Resolution through knowledge. And what is the resolution knowledge? To say, I am not the lower bird, I am the higher bird, period, and be there. Or resolution to jnanam is exactly what we are doing. We are closing our eyes and sitting in a form of meditation and saying, and moving from the mind to the intellect in that place. Now, what do we do? What do we mean by resolution? One has to see Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. That means move from the lower to the higher, from the pot to the clay, from the wave to the water, from the furniture to the wood, from the ornaments to the gold, from the effect to the cause, from karyam to karanam. This is figuratively known as resolving the world into Brahman. This is done intellectually. This is what is called Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. The second is through Dhyanam, through meditation. Through meditation, as exactly as I said, come into silence, close your eyes, then there will be still thoughts. Work on your thoughts, get into those gap between the thoughts. And when there is no thoughts, focus on the observer of the thoughts and stay from Vishesha Jnanam to Samanya Jnana. And once you have reached that Samanya Jnanam, then you have reached that state what in Bhagavan Ramana has said in Sadarshanam, Shabdadi Rupam Bhuvanam Samastam, Shabdadi Satyendriya Vritti Bhasya, Satyendriyanam Manaso Vashesyan, Manomayam Tad Bhuvanam Padamaha. Now, this is the highest form of understanding, and this is the understanding of a Vedanting of the standards of Bhagavan Ramana. Ramana talks about what is called Drishti Srishti Vada. What is Drishti Srishti Vada? In Drishti Srishti Vada, we say that the dream exists because I project the dream. And in Drishti Srishti Vada, they say the world projects because I project the world. So this is the level of gradation that we need to ultimately move to understand that this whole world is Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijantargatam Pashyan Atmani Mayaya Bahiri Bodh Bhutam Yata Nidraya. Yes Sakshat Kurute Prabodha Samaye Swatmanam Eva Advayam Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Nama Idam Shri Dakshinamurti. So through Dakshinamurti, through the grace of my Guru, I need to resolve this world either through Dhyanam or through Jnanam. That is what this beautiful mantra says. Now, how much have we understood this? Let us see in the form of a teaching quiz, which will be conducted by Dr. Anupama. Dr. Anupama, please.
Thank you, sir. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. A test of our understanding. Starting from the beginning, we know that Yamadharmaraja had given us this chariot analogy, the Ratha Kalpana. With that came the message that we should have a healthy body. Just as a practice, please select the word which corresponds to healthy body.
Do the answering. Healthy body should be, of the choices here, would be Arogyam.
Healthy sense organs, which means well restrained.
Restrained sense organs here would be Shamaha.
No,
Damaha.
that's right. And mind mastery.
Mind is Shamaha.
Yes. An informed intellect.
Viveka.
That's right. And all of these work as a team together in coordination.
Is Arjavam.
That's right.
Please go through them again.
So, the message of the Ratha Kalpana is that we should take care of our body, have a healthy body. Healthy sense organs means our sense organs should not be indulgent in adharmic activities. That is called dhamaha. And the mind should be the master of these sense organs. That is called shamaha. The intellect should be informed. We should know what we have to choose. That is called vivekaha. And all these should work as one unit. That's called arjavam or teamwork. So, we had also seen that Yamadharmaraja had given us a choice of two paths. These margas could be called, please choose from the block below.
It should be Preya Marga or Shreya Marga.
That's right. And these are also called
the path of Karma Marga or Jnana Marga.
And the ultimate destination of Preya Marga is what, Padam?
The highest possibility in Preya Marga will be the Hiranyagarbha Padam or the Brahmaloka.
That's right. And he has said that wise people, the Vijnanavans, choose Jnana Marga and their ultimate destination is which?
Vishnu Padam. Vishnu Padam.
So this is the realization that, as we have heard in the first verse, I am not Chaya, but I am
Atapaha.
That's right. I'm not Jivatma, but I'm Paramatma. And this is a journey from what world to what Chaitanyam?
This is from the Saguna world to the Nirguna Chaitanyam.
That's right.
Do you want to go through them?
I think Yamadharmaraja had given us a choice of Shreya or Jnana Marga and Preya or Karma Marga. The ultimate destination of Preya Marga is the Hiranya Garbha Padam. And he had said the wise people, the Vijnana, choose the Jnana Marga and their destination is Vishnu Padam. This is the realization that I am Chaya, the Paramatma. I am not Chaya, the Jivatma, but Atapaha, the Paramatma. This is a journey from the Saguna world to the Nirguna Chaitanya. Next, please. So, continuing, in this mantra which we discussed today, Indriyebhyaha parahi artaha, artebhyaha parascha manaha, manastu para buddhihi, buddhehe atma mahan paraha. So, Yamadharmaraja is using here a prakriya called?
It's one of the I think the one would be Panchakosha Viveka.
That's right. And we are progressing from
the gross to the subtle.
And in this mantra, the most inferior, the grossest is
the sense organs.
And the most superior
will be Mahat.
That's right, Hiranyagarbha. The sense organs once perceived become sense objects, I'm sorry. Once we perceive sense objects,
it becomes Vritti Rupa Arthaha.
That is what he refers to when he says Indriyehi bhya para arthaha. So artha here are the vritti rupa artha, the perceived sense objects. The purpose of this prakriya is to progress from?
I use the word gross to subtle.
Yeah, you could say that.
Saguna world to Nirguna Chaitanyam.
Yes, that's right.
Please go through them once again because these are important.
Yamadharmaraja is using a prakriya called Pancha Kosha Viveka. The bottom line being As you progress from gross to subtle, disidentify from the gross and move on to the subtle till you reach Sakshi. So we progress from gross to subtle. In this mantra, the most inferior are the sense organs. The most superior is Hiranyagarbha, the Mahan Atma. Sense objects once perceived become Vritti Rupa Artha. That is the meaning of the word Artha in this mantra. The purpose of this prakriya is to progress from the Saguna world to Nirguna Brahma. Next, please. So, this method of Panchakosha Viveka is a gradual revelation of the ultimate. And this method is called, there are two nyayas. What are they?
The one above is trying to, it's called Shaka Chandra Nyaya.
Right?
The one below will be the Arundhati, uh, Arundhati
That's right.
Drishya.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm.
So, as you have said, you want to show somebody the moon. So, just direct them gradually from the gross trunk of the plant to the subtler branches and the final twig. So, this is the Shaka Chandranyaya. And so, also the Arundhati Darsha. You're trying to show them a constellation by showing the various grosser objects en route. Next, please. Again, some more blanks to fill. In this phrase, Artebhyascha Paraha Param Manaha. The phrase refers to discipline of what?
Thought discipline.
And what is it called? Two words to describe thought discipline.
Would be Mano Nigraha or Shamaha.
That's right. The unrestrained Vishaya Dhyana, that means thinking about an object or person irrationally, leads to Vishaya.
Vishaya Sangaha.
That's right. And once obsessed, we develop something for that object.
Desire, karma for that object.
And these perceived objects exist as what in the mind?
As vrittis in the mind.
The mind is superior to this vritti because it is the dash karana of every thought.
It is the upadana karana of every thought.
The principle being karana is always superior to the karyam. It is subtler than the karyam. So we should always gravitate towards the karana, move away from karyam. So if the mind is a lake, thought is a
wave in it.
That's right. Next, please. This phrase, so please quote a verse from Bhagavad Gita which describes the importance of shamaha and the consequence that follow the lack of it, using some words that we have used in the previous slide.
Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangate Upajayate Sanga Samjayate Kama Kama Krodopajayate.
That's right. Next, please. So we're moving on to the intellect. Manastu para buddhihi, which means the intellect is superior to the mind. In the chariot analogy, the rider was called intellect or buddhi, and the reins the mind or manaha. What is the difference between mind and intellect? Are they two different organs?
They are different aspects of the same organ. One is fickle, undecided, confused. The other is one that takes decisions and abides by it.
That's right. Just like a same person could be father, grandfather, son, boss. So also mind and intellect are together called antakaranam. They're not separate entities. Based on the function, they represent different faculties of the same organ, the antakarana. When this antakarana behaves as a doubting, emotional, sankalpa, vikalpa faculty, it is called mind. When it takes part in determination, nischayatmika antakarana vritti, it is called the intellect. Next, please. So, the reasons why the intellect is superior to the mind, please choose the best answer. Nischaya can conquer samshaya. All emotions can be handled by knowledge. Wisdom conquers samsara. Determination or viveka can destroy doubt. Jnanam overpowers sorrow. The driver in the Ratha Kalpana, the intellect, controls the reins, which is the mind, or all of the above.
I think this is a very important question. The answer clearly is all of the above. But what are we learning here? I'm taking the lead from you instead of you. See, we have the mind, we have the intellect. Nischaya Nischaya means determination can conquer samshaya. So whenever I have in doubt, I need to go back to my intellect. Whatever emotions which can cause havoc in me can be handled by knowledge. The knowledge of nidityasanam. Wisdom can conquer samsara, param drishtva. Determination of viveka can destroy doubt. Jnanam can overpower sorrow. And so we have within ourselves an answer for all this. And that is why more and more our life should be driven by the intellect rather than the mind. A very important slide which can be life transforming. Continue, please.
Next now. Now we have moved to a bit higher. Buddhehi Atma Mahan Paraha. What is superior to this intellect that we have just called the greatest? So Mahan Atma here refers to
Atma refers to the Hiranya Garbha or the total intellect or Mahat or Samashti intellect.
Okay. All right. So this means that the Vyashti intellect, that is the micro intellect in each of us, is dashed by the total intellect.
The Vyakshti intellect is pervaded and influenced by the total intellect.
Yes. Isn't it true? The micro can never be individualized from the macro. It is always, the macro is always the adhishtanam of the micro. The message being, yeah. So the three adjectives used to describe the intellect are?
It should be deep, it should be total, and it should be big or wide.
Yeah, deep, sharp, and wide. There is no stula sharira distinct from?
Total matter.
And there is no individual intellect distinct from?
No individual from the Hiranyagarbha.
That's right. The bottom line being give up dash for each aspect of the Panchakosha.
The Abhimana aspect.
Right.
Please go through all of them.
Yeah. So this phrase says Buddhehi Atma Mahan Paraha. Superior to the intellect is Hiranyagarbha. The Mahan Atma refers to Hiranyagarbha or the Samashti intellect. This means the Vyashti intellect is pervaded and influenced by the total intellect. Message being our intellect should expand and deepen, getting more and more subtler and getting closer to the Hiranyagarbha. The three adjectives used to describe the nature of the intellect are sharp, wide, and deep. As you said, the spear of Lord Subramanya. There is no sthula sharira which is distinct from total matter. No matter is apart from Virat. There is no individual intellect distinct from Mahat. That means there is no Taijasa which is separate from Hiranyagarbha. The bottom line being we have to give up Abhimana for each aspect of the Panchakosha to move on to Sakshi. Next, please.
You will see the importance of our fundamentals of Tattva Bodha and understanding all of these. Please continue.
This is a simple diagram which says that as we ascend from gross, more pervasive, and more superior, we should definitely give up Abhimana for each lower component. That is the message of Panchakosha Viveka. Next, please. Okay, moving on. Mahataha param avyaktam avyaktat purushaha paraha. Purushat na param kinchit. Sakashta sa paragatihi. So, this verse describes avyaktam. Which of these phrases best describe avyaktam? Is it that stage in which all knowledge, intellect, has resolved into potential or dormant state? Is it the karana or seed avastha of creation? Is it the unmanifest condition of causal matter during pralayam? Nirvikalpa, undifferentiated avastha? Is it Jagat Bijam, Maya, or Prakriti? None of the above or all of the above?
Again, a good question, which all the first five of them defines Avyakta. The answer should be all of the above.
That's right. Next, please. Now, in this same mantra, Mahataha Param Avyaktam Avyaktat Purushaha Param. But he also says, Purushat na param kinchit sakashta sa paragatihi. So our spiritual journey culminates in Chaitanyam. There are three phrases or words in this mantra which make this declaration. What are they?
Purushan param kinchit
Yeah.
sakashta purush sakashta sagatihi.
Sa paragatihi. Yeah.
Sagatihi.
So, what is the meaning of Sakashta? Sakashta means it is the pinnacle or the apex of the inner journey, and Saparagati is its ultimate goal. And Purushat na param kinchit. There is nothing beyond Sakshi. Next, please. So, why is Sakshi Chaitanya called Purusha? You had explained this. You'll have
There
to.
are two definitions. One is pure shayati iti purusha, that which is the indweller in the city or within the body. And the second one is that which is all pervasive.
That's the best way of describing immanent and transcendental Atma. There's nothing more to say. You have said it all. Next slide, please. So, the next verse, Esha Sarveshu Bhuteshu Godotma Na Prakashate Drishyate Tu Agraya Buddhya Sukshmaya Sukshma Darshibihi. So, this means that whether in our minds there are thoughts or no thoughts, vritti bhava or abhava, Sakshi is present in everyone in all our avasthas. Also, everything is evident to us only because of Sakshi. Pratibodha viditam matam. Yet, most of us are ajnanis with respect to this Atma, which is our true nature. Sarveshu bhuteshu gudaha means as though hidden. Eshaha Atma and na prakashyate. We do not even see it, not aware of it. Why is this so?
The answer should be in Vishesha Jnanam. Too many thoughts cloud our whole consciousness, and our consciousness is covered by the thoughts of all our activities, which is called Vishesha Jnanam.
So, Atma is technically not hidden at all, but we are so distracted that we are not aware of it. Gudaha, this Atma is inseparably hidden, you could put in inverted commas, amidst our Anatma, the Panchakoshas. How is it hidden? Because our attention is being distracted towards Anatma. Our sense organs and mind are always extroverted, and the gross is always more attractive than subtle. And very few people are aware of Samanya Chaitanyam even while they experience Vishesha. For them, this Atma is visible, and therefore they're called Sukshma Darshibihi. Next, please. So, what is it that enables a few jnanis to, as though, see Atma? According to this mantra, what should their qualifications be?
One is Sukshmatam, that means make your mind very sensitive, very subtle. The second is Agraya, that means very sharp and wide.
What do you exactly mean by subtle? Okay, Agraya Buddhyaya means sharp intellect to differentiate Atma from Anatma, and Sukshma Buddhi, a subtle intellect. That means you should be a Pandita, a Jnana Nishta. What is the meaning of subtle?
Subtle means to be able to be aware of that conscious principle in and through all activity. That
In
means
this way, the word subtle means you stop objectifying because every object is gross. However minute or however rarefied, anything that can be objectified is gross. So when that mind stops objectifying, it becomes subtle. Next, please. Let us see. I don't know what is this the last? Ah, yes. See, if a small ring is submerged, hidden, gudaha, slips out of a person's finger into a large tank, it can be found by emptying out the water of the tank. Similarly, consciousness is hidden in our panchakoshas. So, by emptying our mind of all thoughts, will consciousness be revealed?
The example here is that in the ring and the tank example, they're of the same order of reality. Here, consciousness is of a different order of reality compared to our thoughts and our body. And therefore, we need a different mindset to be aware of that consciousness. So that is why you have that pravilapanam through jnanam or through jnanam.
That's right. So when they are same order, you can segregate them and isolate and identify. Next slide, please. So what we see is, suppose we empty our thoughts of a mind of all thoughts, we go into Anandamaya Kosha. If we keep thoughts in our mind, we either are in Manomaya or Vijnanamaya Kosha. But what we should know is Vritti Bhava, with thoughts, or Abhava, without thoughts. In whichever kosha we may exist, the Sakshi Chaitanyam always exists. How? Because it is the seer. The seer is a consciousness, and it is this objectification tendency that should be dropped. Only then the mind can identify the fact that the drik, the seer, we as seers are different from anything that we see, the drishyam. And this is the meaning of the word sukshma darshi. The person who knows Atma as Aham Eva Atma is a sukshma darshi. Next one, please. Okay, in this last verse, Yached Bhag Manasi Prajnyaha Tad Yached Jnana Atmani Jnana Atmani Mahati Niyachet Tad Yachet Chanta Atmani. This is a Nidithyasana shloka, especially for a person or people who are prajnas. Who is this? Who is a prajna?
One who's got spiritual knowledge, who knows Brahma Asti, but has not established in it, not a Jnana Nishta.
Okay, why is it so? Next slide, please.
Requires Nidityasanam.
Yeah. Normally, when a person comes in for Jnana Yoga, he's expected to have done some upasana, Saguna Ishvara Dhyanam, which gives him the qualification that we were talking about, a subtle, sharp, purified, and expanded mind. But many of us come into Jnana Yoga without having done upasana. Whatever amount of Shravana Manana we do, this knowledge that we accumulate is like locked up in our minds. It is unassimilated knowledge. So Nidityasanam is mandatory to assimilate this knowledge. When this prajna can become a sthita prajna, a jnani can become a jnana nishta. That is why Nidithyasana is prescribed here. Next, please. In this same mantra, a technique is suggested, a technique of meditation to make our minds sharp, subtle. Now, can you please describe the process of disidentifying sequentially from one kosha to the next? Going by this mantra, Yachet Vak Manasi. What is the meaning of Vak and what is Manasi? You have to unmute, please.
Vak represents all the karmendriyas. That means
And
reduce karmendriyas and jnanendriyas, reduce all their activities and then come to the level of the thoughts. And from the thoughts to the intellect. So it is a kind of a meditative process where you are resolving from one level to another.
That's right. Just put the slide next. I will just explain in short, as you have just said. Then Vak. Vak represents the five karmendriyas and five jnanendriyas, and that belongs to the pranamaya kosha. So you're migrating from the pranamaya kosha to the manomaya kosha by shutting down all these faculties. Then, as you lodge into your mind, you have to gradually move to your intellect, which you know by hierarchy is superior to the mind. Once you lodge into your Vijnanamaya Kosha, gradually move out of your individuality to the Samashti intellect. Now, once you are in that Hiranyagarbha, the Samashti intellect, what you should do is stop seeing the thoughts, but become the seer of the thoughts. You become the Drik and witness the Drishyam. That is the meaning of entering Shanta Atmani. Next, please. It has been explained. Mahati Atmani Niyat Chet Tad Chet Shant. So from the intellect, which is full of vrittis, you have to move to the Sakshi. Very similar to what Swamiji says, from the hand, move to the light that illuminates the hand. Shift from the observed to the observer. Dwell on the Sakshi as my Chaitanya Swarupam. That beautiful mantra from Dasha Shloki. न जाग्रन् न वा स्वप्नको वा सुषुप्तः न विश्वो न वा तैजसः प्राज्ञको वा अविद्यात्मकत्वात् त्रयाणां तुरीयम्. So what am I? Tadeko avashishtam Shivaha kevaloham. I am the Sakshi. Next slide, please. Okay, we have seen in the earlier mantra, the hierarchy of events was from Hiranyagarbha. We were told there is the Avyaktam, and from Avyaktam, the Purusha, the gradation of subtlety, pervasiveness, and superiority. Avyaktam was mentioned after Hiranyagarbha. So, in this mantra that we have just discussed, why has Avyaktam been excluded in this Nidithyasana mantra? Is there some error?
This is a process of meditation. And in meditation, one of the problems is you can go off to sleep. That is why Avyaktam is predominantly Tamo Pradhana. So that step has been avoided.
That's right. That's the answer. So we don't want to enter the Karana Sharira because it is Shushupti Avastha. We don't want the mind to go into dormancy or Tamu Pradhana because meditation, Nidityasanam, needs to be Sattva predominant. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for taking us through the chapter 1, Valli 3 verses with such deep clarity, insightful interpretation, and relevant examples that makes these subtle teachings easier to understand and internalize for us. Our heartfelt thanks to Dr. Anupama ma'am for the reflective and thoughtful teaching quiz and, as always, impactful visuals. And a warm thank you to all of you, dear friends, for your participation. Let us meet again on Friday, the 26th of September 2025 at 6:45 p.m. for the 8th session of Panchadashi as we continue our study of the ancient wisdom. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you.